Okay. Oh, I'm so low. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we're trying a new linkage today. I think this one might work. I wish I could change. Why isn't it letting me change this? Because I want to be able to. Give me 1 second. I like to kind of mess around. Can I change replacement in OBS? Oh, streaming. Why isn't it letting me then? Let people get in here. Oh, is the source locked? It's locked. Okay, there we go. So I can shrink this. Let's go mini. I don't need to be big. Okay, I'm learning here, folks. I'm learning here. So, I've changed the linkage. Hang on, here we go. So I've changed the linkage. I think this is the one. You can see. So basically how we're going to do this, how I'm going to explain this. Imagine this is our main bar, and this dictates when the jack is about to lift off. This obviously represents the piece that's going to do the pushing. Everything else doesn't matter, but you can see I've added this extra link in here just so that you can see what matters is the relationship between the angle of this versus the angle of this. And so you can see at this point, it's basically touching that dot. And now what we can do is we can cycle this. So you can see as we come past horizontal here, the L11 taps the dot and then jumps right out of the way. And then as we come down, it taps the dot, which will re-engage the hammer, and then it gets out of the way. And it stays out of the way the whole time. This is also it looks fairly robust. It's a 6-bar linkage, so it's not crazy. Looks fairly robust. Obviously, I'm going to have to see if things are going to get in the way, but I think I want to model this now, today, and see if this finally works. All of this being said, I finally got the horn printing in the background here. Spent the weekend redoing the shop a little bit. I haven't set up the printers over there yet, but that will be printer world. I'm not even going to have a printer behind me in the future. I just need to do that while my countertop dries, because I just oiled it, and so now it looks really nice. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited to show people, and I might do some streams from over there at some point, but we will see. So we can jump over here and take a look at this and try and basically compare our two mechanisms. So maybe what I'll do, let's try and set this bad boy up here, because maybe I can get a little additional screen going on so you guys can see how I'm referencing this. Let's add a screen capture device. Create new. Whoa. Window capture. Nice. And now I can shrink this right down. So you can see this is what we're going for in the top right hand. And this is what we have. So This bar. I'm so confused where my mouse actually is. Oh yeah, okay, so this bar here represents this bar. This bar represents the red. Everything else doesn't matter. Now, there's obviously a big caveat to all of this, and that's that in order to do this red bar, you can see there's one joint that happens really close to the main axle point. And when we look at this, this whole thing, this whole circle here is a big bearing. So I can't quite like put an axle through there, but I'm going to see if I can figure out a way I can model something in that will allow me to connect, you know, closer to the axle and actually make this work. But we'll see. It's kind of a weird experiment, and I tried moving this point to different locations outside of that bearing point, but didn't work. So we'll see if I can make this work. I'm not 100% sure, but it's worth a try. And I'm really dedicated to getting this linkage, and I know people are probably gonna like. There's only a couple people that have been following the stream, and I know it's frustrating to see me try a bunch of different things, but this is how I feel like I need to do this. And I feel like it's going to be the right call. But again, you know, this could all be not worth the effort, and I could be wasting a ton of time. But it's worth it for me to at least try and see what we can get out of all of this. So I'm going to delete all these extra linkages. And I'm going to actually kind of... oh, you know what? Let's save as. And I'm going to delete everything. Start kind of from scratch. Obviously, not everything, but all the linkages. Start the linkages from scratch. Brand new linkage design. But I am definitely getting like pretty stressed. I did not want this. I did not want this whole thing to take this long. And it's obviously taking so much longer than I wanted it to. And, you know, I don't have a lot of time. But for me, I think it'll be well worth it if I can get this working the way I want, the way I imagine it to. Okay, so this rotates good. This all rotates good. So let's line this up. Okay, perfect. So once again, we're looking at this being this. And with that in mind, this has to stick out further. So the red guy can stick out further, which is good because I think that will make things a lot easier. Actually, why did I do that? Capture possession. Continue. Well, that worked out nice, right? Didn't that just work out really nice? I didn't even try to do that. Okay. So now that's sticking out way more. So I can avoid this whole triangle because this is just this was just a visual. All I need is the bar, which we have here. So the next piece is, I guess I need to create a joint up top. Oh, I need to create a joint up top here. and then have a triangle piece that kind of connects all of these pieces together, have a bar there, have a bar there. So let's take a look at our frame. This is our frame here, isn't it? Yeah. So we can... Okay. So this is our main frame. I don't know what exactly is going on with all of this. It's looking bad. But that's okay, because I'm not really worried about anything that's happening here yet. What I need to think about is, where does this big block end up? It looks like this joint sits above this joint, like in terms of just radius from the center. So that's kind of like having something like that. And then putting the hinge back from the center. So maybe like there-ish. Let's do just a 4.8 hole. Oh, that does not sound good. Oh, I'm nervous about this. This has to work. Yeah, there's parts sticking up above my nozzle height, which is a recipe for disaster, but I'm hoping that the actual path will allow me to keep this print going. Okay. So this obviously... This guy takes up so much room, but we can actually cut away a lot of this. The bearing is what takes up the space. But it's kind of nice because we've got a bearing here and we got a bearing here, so it feels kind of good. Okay, so now that we've got that hooked up, we need to do a triangle piece. So we're going to create this, and I'm going to call this link 4 again, because this basically represents what we had for link 4 previously. And you can see I have 2 different mechanisms here. They're the exact same, just mirrored. No, they're not actually exact same because you can't mirror in this software, so I just remodeled it kind of backwards. And that's because I found this one first, but I've been thinking about my mechanism in this view the whole time. So I did this for myself, but right now it's really useful because I actually need to model stuff flipped around. So this helps me. So now I'm working on this triangular piece. And I'm literally just going to... I'm just going to go for it. And I'm just going to kind of like eyeball like that. And I probably have my like scale all wrong and everything. I didn't take any measurements of this, but that's okay. And then I'm just gonna do something like really goofy for actually this is a waste of time. It's actually gonna spend less time going like this, going like that, going like that. Okay, and we can extrude this. Let's just do it 4 millis. New body. And I'll do all the joints after. Okay. Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, we're down to the wire here, folks. I'm getting pretty stressed. But it's kind of a good stress, you know. It's like there's definitely different types of stress. And the kind of stress I feel when I'm working on these things is very different than the kind of stress when I'm doing other stuff. Yo, Banana Bread, what's going on? Good to see you. I'm trying a new mechanism here. You can see I've got this mechanism up here in a little mini screen. That's what I'm mimicking over in my Fusion file project. So the last link is the link between here and something on here, which I don't know yet. There's not a lot of room. There is not a lot of room indeed. It's gotta be like connected, but I'm wondering if I can just connect it to here and see what that does. So let's just try it. Call this link 6. And sketch on that surface. Let's just go right here. Let's go 8. And then we're going to project this. And we're going to go 8. And I'm going to connect these. Oh, that sounds bad. I got a thing printing behind me, and then it keeps failing, and I've tried to make it work. So this is my 3rd attempt. I'm really hoping it works, but it keeps making these grinding sounds because it's kind of lifting off, and it's stressing me out a little bit. Okay, now we can try all this. I can get my body here. Nope. Nope. There we go. And we can start joining these together. Boom. Okay. What does this do? That obviously doesn't work. Why? Why? Let's take a look. Okay, so in order for this mechanism to work, this needs to pass by the axle, which this won't do until that point. And then once that does, then it starts to work. So we need to move this inwards. Insane. Insane. Why does it do this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Okay. We're just trying stuff. I know I'm not doing this the smartest way possible. If I was a proper engineer, I might know exactly how to do this. but I do not, admittedly. Can we move this inwards? And then can we move this inwards? No, so why didn't that work? So to look at that, let's take a look at our actual motion generation. So this guy clicks forward like that because at this point these three link up, and that's the deciding factor. That's how that dictates that sudden change in direction that we need. Okay, so what do we have here? Yeah, that change in direction doesn't happen until this point. So we need it to happen sooner. I think what I'm going to do to make that happen is I'm going to move this inwards like I kind of thought I was going to have to do. Inwards, and it looks like lower than the axle. Yeah, Ruby, what's up? Okay, I know I'm like beating a dead horse. I changed the mechanism. Look how good this works though. So this bar here, and let me know if this is clear because I have two screens open for you. So we're looking at the motion gen in the top right hand corner, but this bar here represents our main green bar. This bar represents our red bar. Everything else doesn't matter. Watch this motion here. So once the green bar gets perfectly horizontal, watch the change of direction of L11. Boom. Right? And then when we go back, it follows, it kind of retracts itself, but never goes back out to that super far depth. This is the farthest it goes. Boom. So this is working on motion gen. This is working perfectly on motion gen, and it seems like a pretty robust mechanism. Now, obviously in practice, struggling, but that's okay because we're gonna figure it out. So it works. It's happening too high though. Why? And the distance between these changes too much. Yeah, it continues on. So why isn't that happening over here? Why isn't that happening over here, though? So what's different about this? It reverts and starts pulling back right away, and it pulls back faster. Why isn't it doing that on this one? So flips. It's pulling back a lot slower. Does this... The problem with this is this link here is technically connecting to the red guy, but over top of where the bearing is. So that kind of doesn't work really. But I can try. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out a proper way to manufacture this. I think this... Why aren't you letting me move? Oh, gosh. What is happening? You're not letting me move this now? Let's, you know, I hope so, because this has obviously taken way more time than I ever wanted it to. And I really need to focus on getting this done. But it's such a struggle. Why aren't you letting me move? This is so frustrating. Also, I'm printing the crazy horn in the background, and it's creeping me out. It keeps making noises that I don't like. This is really annoying. Why aren't you letting me move? There we go. Let's kind of come in here. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, the Sabex Siren. Yeah, and that one is hopefully it's going to work. Hopefully it's going to work. I honestly am not 100% sure it's going to be as cool as I wanted it to be. But okay, so the uptake is good. I like the uptake on this. See, you can see the red guy's pulling right back. But then as we come down, it's got to switch directions, which it does switch directions, but it trails behind the blue. I need it to go faster than blue, which it does on here. So, you know, it goes boom, and look, it goes faster than L7, and that's what I need to figure out. Why? Why is mine going so slow? Also ignore all this noise. I'm going to see if I can fix that actually. Is it because of this? What if I bring this in? Yeah, that works better. This is sounding bad. Ooh, it sounds so bad. Gosh, we'll see. I don't like it so far. Do you have the sizing wrong? Yeah, for sure. It's a scale issue, definitely. Yeah, the this one, right? This is on here. It's L10, but I have it as L5, or L4. I think I don't remember. I shrank the one down here to try and get the ratio right because the ratio is what's important. And it's just a little off. That's working good now, but it breaks. It breaks. Also, let's get rid of that dot there. So why does this break now? That works good. Because of that flip that happens right there. Why is that flip even happening though? What if I move this up? Up and in. So that's got great backwards motion. Direction change. Flip. Okay, that won't do. Let's just see what happens if I bring it out here, because that would be really nice if I could bring it out here. Okay, that's wrong. But it seemed like it was still working, so let's bring this down. And then let's bring this down. No, that still breaks. That breaks worse. That breaks worse. That's good motion. but we totally lose it there. Okay, that's worse. Why is this happening? Oh, it sounds so bad. I don't know if it's worth slowing that whole thing down just to save it, or if I should. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to take a little breather on this. Another part is done. I'm just going to pull it off the printer and I can show you. This is such a nice looking filament. Okay. So, let's go here, and then I can show you. So, I got the cover on the front, and then this is, or the cover on the back, and then this is the cover that goes on the front, which I realized I don't have a way to like index this properly, but it should be fine. So that guy goes on there, and then I've got my horn that hopefully slides. Hold on, there's some burrs preventing me from getting this in. It's always the darn burrs. Sorry, this is boring. Okay. Let's just get this in first and then we can... What's preventing me? Nothing. There we go. This will let me adjust the depth to get closer, but let's see if this makes any difference. Hey, hey. I just used what I had around for prototyping purposes. Hey, ooh, ooh. See how there's like a really bass note? It's not that effective. It's not that effective. I don't have the horn on. This is just the... This was the quietest DC motor I had. I just had it on hand, so that's why I'm using this. But honestly, I could probably go for a bigger one, if anything, because the more power it has, the easier time it's going to have staying consistent. See, this is the whole point of this thing, is like, I want to be able to sing in it, and then you hear those notes. But it only really works if I'm like doing like a blowing sound. Like when I'm talking into it, it's not really doing it, right? So, but if I were to sing like this, it's kind of cool like that. Not as effective as I wanted it to be with the front horn. Yeah, it's definitely not really coming through when I'm just talking, which is weird, because like if you talk into a fan, you can hear the fan, right? And that's kind of the mechanism I'm copying with this, but it's not really working with this. That's kind of cool. And then this is without the back insert. So I have the back insert. Yeah, it does just sound like I'm talking through a PVC pipe. This is the back insert. And what I noticed with this is this makes the note happen. You know what though? This makes it so much louder for... Oh, actually, let's try the regular siren. Let's try the regular disc. Because normally the regular disc is like real quiet. So... Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Plus the angle of the blades probably has an effect as well. Because it's like actively pushing air in a specific direction, so the microphone obviously would pick that up way harder. But let's see. This honestly doesn't make that big of a difference for the regular thing. I think the horn is where the difference is going to be major. That's why I actually have the, that's why I did a multicolor disc on this one. Hold on, let's start that. This one's multicolored, so the yellow outlines on the circles does make it really easy to see the different notes, which is really cool. This honestly makes a really big difference for this disc, and I think this sounds pretty darn cool. When you put this in, it's kind of neat.
it is really... Now, just doing some talking tests, if I adjust this, obviously that doesn't make any difference. This is kind of dumb.
I almost need this thing to like literally cup around my mouth so that every ounce of air pressure that comes out of my mouth when I'm talking is forced through this disc and it can't escape anywhere else. I think that might be the only way to do this. I don't know if this is going to work. Why does talking... I should make a fan blade one. I'm really excited to get the horn done, though. I think the horn's going to make a big difference. I love playing with the speed while I'm doing this. Yeah, I might do that. I might try an angled blade one. It's going to make a ton of noise, but that might be okay. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo. And then like just talking through this with a small amount of rotation. You can hear it with this. It's got like ring modulation to it. Kind of fun. I mean, that sounds so cool, not gonna lie. That just sounds like a siren. This one even like slightly.
That obviously does nothing, but
Thought that might be. Nothing. The little insert piece makes a big difference. Come on. Oh my god. There's something here. It's just not doing what I wanted it to do with my regular voice, obviously. It has to be... I think the horn's gonna make a huge difference, but hopefully. That's so crazy. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know. Let's wait for the horn, obviously, and see what that does. I'm struggling with this video because none of the results are really that impressive. So it's kind of bumming me out, and it's been bumming me out. But at the same time, it's still kind of cool, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Why are we breaking? Oh, it's because that passes through there. Okay, so that's where that breaks. So when we look at our motion gen, where are you at, motion gen? Okay. Right, yeah, that doesn't pass by until that point. Oh, that sounds so bad. Oh, it's lost. Print failed. Nice, sounds good. Thanks, Banana Bread. Thank you, Banana Bread. Yeah, the print failure. Yeah. I'm honestly gonna just slice it on the bamboo and just see if it can handle it, because if it is a printer thing, then that sucks. But I just need to see for myself. Because this Brusso just won't print this thing. And I'm done printing all the green stuff, so I can just yeet a bunch of green at this now. So much less filament, so much faster print as well. Is there supports all the way through this? Okay, yeah. No dice. Let's not do that. Support. Build plate only. Even less filament. And even less time. That is a crazy support, though, that's happening. Let's try it. Let's just try this, right? Okay. Now we're going to get back to this while that does that. I think it'll be okay. I got like tweezers and stuff to get in there if I need to. I'm just going to trust the process there. So this doesn't work anymore because that's so slow. I think to make this work, I'd have to pull this out, which I don't want to do. So what's the alternative? We pull this in, I guess. No, that did nothing. That did the opposite, actually. Oh, you know what I should probably do? Let's move this whole thing over. Why is that solid? Oh, that's why. Uh, uh, uh. Oh my gosh. This is really driving me absolutely nuts. Yeah, the issue is unless I remodel or like understand exactly where everything is uh in relation to the motion gen, um there's just so many real world things that I'm going to run into on this model that I wouldn't be able to capture on the motion gen. And so like I wanted I wanted my God, I have a pain in my chest today. I wanted my motion gen workflow to be like as streamlined as possible. I just wanted to really like make it like a sandbox and just figure out where things did work, and then from that point extrapolate and actually get the scale right on Fusion. Obviously, it's not a perfect workflow, but um, I feel like it's easier that way than the other way around. Oh, yeah, that's looking quite good. That's looking quite good. It's like shooting forward way more than I needed to. It's also sitting really high up there, so I love how far out this gets to be in order to make that happen. Nice. That works really well. The direction change isn't as good as I would like. Let's make the direction change happen here. And to do that, we line this up with that hole. And let's make it longer maybe just to see. And then, oh my God. Also, if I was just better at Fusion, this would be not too bad. So this is good for me to get better at Fusion as well. That's okay. That's amazing back. That's amazing back travel there. That's what we want. Boom, look how much the green's going up by, okay, here's 0 degrees. If we go up 11 degrees, which I think it was at, that thing sends its way back. But then it needs to switch at that point, which it's not doing just yet. It takes too long, so let's make this shorter. Oops. Let's make this shorter, and let's also send it back a bit sooner. See what happens here. That didn't work for some reason. Even that's not bad. It's too slow. It's also too high up. Ruby, you've been with me so many of these streams now. I'm so sorry it hasn't. This is the reality of when I design stuff. I know there's builders that are much better at this than I am. So it means a lot that you've stuck around for all of this nonsense. We're so close here. Look at that. It's so close. It's just a little bit. I think this needs to just start back a bit more. We're so close. We're so close. I think this is it. I think this is the right mechanism for this. I just need to understand where it starts messing up. Like that. Look at the way that sends back. That's awesome. It's so cool. I did get I did start, or I signed up for Twitch just as a viewer, just on like my personal email, just to check it out. I really do think I want to start streaming on there as well. I just need to kind of get my ducks in a row. I feel like I'm like 10 times better at linkages in general since starting this, because I really didn't fully understand what was going on with linkages. Still really confusing to me, but I think we can potentially get to a point where I could be a pro linkage designer. Like this looks so good. This is exactly what we want. Look at that. That's crazy amount of motion. And I do think it's going to have the power to pull that hammer back into place. I just got to figure out how to make this rotate faster now. I guess, so theoretically, at the switch point, Okay, we want it to switch there, so I'm gonna just adjust this because we have so much motion in that direction now. I can probably afford to move this closer this way and maybe even come down a bit. Did that do it? Oh no. Oh, it broke. But that's okay. I think we're like right there. Yeah, we're right there. We're right there. So I want this to continue going up. I want it to not rotate until maybe this point. So I actually went the wrong way with this. Oh, everything's broken. How did that break so hard? It broke before I even touched it. Broke before I even touched it. Yeah, no, I did it. I did it under. I didn't. I didn't set up like a thing to stream yet. I just set up a viewer account because I wanted to see what it was all about. And yeah, it looks like a spot that gets. It looks like it gets quite a bit of action, but definitely needs some more building content over there. Okay, now the issue is that passes by there too soon. So I just want to move this over is what I need to do. That's probably link 4, yeah. No, that's worse. Why is that worse? Oh, because of that. Okay, so this is too much. So let's lift this up. Okay, that kind of works. And then, oh my god, I gotta turn off some of these sketches. They're getting so crazy. just hide this boy. Hide that boy. Hide whatever that. Oops. That sounds good. So at that point, we want this to be out further already. Welcome back. See, why does it do that? That's what I don't understand. It's going to break there, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's good understanding. So it breaks the second those. That swing takes way too long. And then it also breaks. Okay, so looking at motion gen again for a second. So it breaks the second that happens. So the second this axle, and this axle line up, it breaks. So I need that to happen. I mean, it can happen a little bit, but it just can't. And then that's the motion that brings us forward, is these three lining up and then it going from a pushing orientation to a pulling orientation. So when I look at this, we have, yeah, none of that happens until that point. So we need to take a look at this again. I'm going to move this way up and get this way under. It's really annoying how this works. Why does it keep rotating it? What does that do? Breaks immediately? Oh, we were so close a second ago. Is it here? Yeah, this was so close. That motion is amazing. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell. there's a bar between this axle and this axle, and that is L12 here. This green bar, the main green bar, is L7, but we can ignore this. L7's just straight. I just use that as a reference point. The red guy is L11 here. And then this one's obviously L9, and then L10 is this triangle here. I think we have it. I just need to hone it in. It's so close because this motion is incredible. Look how far back red goes when green goes up, just the tiniest little bit. And you can see here it shows the degrees. Look at that. That's just nuts. That's exactly what we want. I'm actually going to hide this so we can really see what's going on with these linkages. Wait, I'm actually really confused. Where is... Oh, okay. And we can hide this because this is just making it more confusing. So this is, and I'll get rid of this too. Let's just look at purely the links. I think that'll be easier to understand. So this one's connected here, and this is connected to the frame. This one's connected to here. Yeah, and so like when I'm looking at the motion gen, all I wanted was to figure out what linkage actually works. The reason I didn't go all into like making it scale, for one, I don't really know how to use motion gen that well. So like scaling it properly, I can't figure it out. But also, this is sort of my playground. This is where I just throw shit at the wall until it works, until I get a motion that I'm looking for. And in this case, this is exactly what we have. We have a motion that seems to work really well. And so now I'm taking that concept, and because obviously in the actual model we have things like this bearing to think about, where things end up throughout the stroke is really important. And all of that is based on way more than just the actual independent axles. But of course, with these linkages, the more bars you add, the more at every tiny little shift makes a difference. And especially when I'm trying to get like a motion that has like a drastic change in direction like this, refining that perfectly is really hard to achieve. But I think I'm going to have an easier time just like fiddling with this until I get it than trying to... you know what I'm going to do? This is I should have done this at the beginning. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh well. Okay, I got to think carefully. Cuz I'm actually really enjoying this view where I'm just looking at the link, purely the axles. I'm not even looking at the linkages, right? So we can get rid of all of this. And it's still pretty easy to visualize what's actually going on here. So maybe instead of... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and go like this, extrude that, unextrude that. We don't need anything in the middle. This way we can just really just only look at that. Link 4. Let's take a look at link 4 here. Turn on the sketch. Get rid of this and only have those nodes. Okay. And then it's also really important where I have my actual joints constrained to. So we're just going to work with dots. I don't know where that one goes, though. I don't know why that one's not showing up. But it doesn't really matter, I guess. Like, why aren't you letting me select this dot? It's driving me crazy. Okay. So now this is going to help me visualize a little bit better. Yeah, okay. So get rid of that. Delete. Also, this has been driving me crazy too. My link 4. Link 4 is making me upset because it has all of these constraints to it. So I'm just going to delete them all so I can't reference them. And I'm just going to draw another circle here. Okay. This is all going to make sense in a second. It's just been so hard to move these joints around. And so my thinking is I'll just make these individual dots and I'll be able to just move them around a lot easier that way. Now I got to get this guy visible for a second. And hello, wife. Finish, and then I can just joint these together. And I'm going to use this guy as my reference now. That way I can get rid of the mainframe. And now we can start just looking at these dots as our reference points. So this dot actually belongs over here. So I'm going to line these up again. Capture position. And I'm just going to drag this over, and this guy goes approximately there. I'm going to drag this over. This guy goes, let's get rid of this line. Who needs it? This guy goes approximately there. Okay. So now this is a lot easier to grasp. Right, now what I can do is to move individual joints. I'm just going to move the actual, okay, what is this? Great. There, it's a lot easier now. Nice. So that works good. Oh yeah, and then let's get my reference line as well, because that's important. It's on here. Is it this line? No. This line? No. This line. That's the line. So this is our reference line. We base everything off of what happens when this is perfectly parallel to that. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful amount of action. Ideally, it starts rotating back earlier than that. So if we want that to happen earlier, that doesn't start happening until this guy. Until this guy rotates backwards. That didn't move the joint. This is the one that moves the joint. Okay, so we can hide this. Okay, so this guy moves the joint. Oh my god, this one's so annoying. Just delete this. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. There we go. Now I can move this freely. Okay, so let's go with that. And the reason this fails is because once these three intersect, it breaks. Right there, it broke. So how do I reduce that? I think I need to move this up. Like a lot. Oh my god. Let's try something like that. Why does it jut out though? Why isn't this just going where I want it to go? Here. Okay, that kind of worked, I guess. Breaks again. Why did it break that time? Is it breaking when... Now it's breaking when these three line up. Or these three line up. So, to make those break less frequently, we can move this guy up and over. Okay, that breaks less. That's a very insignificant amount of motion there, though. Just messing around with this. it doesn't matter. So the bigger this is, oh my god. The more motion I'm going to get out of this, right? Dupe. That's quite nice. But it keeps carrying down, and then here it carries down so much. So what's happening here? It's because now those line up and those actually switch directions. But there's also very little motion happening between these two. Doesn't mean this one's got to come out. Why does that stop rotating? Okay, quick little break. Let's take a look at our progress on this. It's looking good to me. This is so good because it's pushing on this, which is pushing that forward. It's actually pulling it forward. And then when we come back around, it's so slow here. Because it's got to wait for this whole thing to wrap around and pull it up. So moving this does make a difference. If we can get this closer in. I don't want to go too much closer than this, but like I guess theoretically we could go there. soon as that wraps around there. Can't do, that won't do. Oh boy, what just happened? That's so much worse. Okay, that looks awful. Why did that happen? So that's a really good motion there. June. I can see why. If I bring this down further, though. What if I bring this down and then out? Like there. It's minimal motion there. Yeah, down and out did not work. Down and in. That's right. So that fails because it goes down and in. So what if we go up and in? Okay, this has got to go too. That's got to go. Oh, this is okay. This is like so close. This is perfect because you can see this goes up. Red pushes towards the hammer a lot, and then it starts to back off right about there. And then it backs off a ton. And then going this way, it pushes back and then starts to back off and then continues to back off until this point, which is so close to the full stroke because this should be going vertical. And actually, I don't know if it ever does go vertical. It actually doesn't go vertical. So theoretically, if we left it at this, it's actually quite a bit off from vertical. The maximum travel for this is kind of like... Oh. It's broken, so I gotta reset it. The maximum travel for this is kind of like this. Or even less. Like there. But it does obviously... It can theoretically swing back. But I could have it stop. And so if that's the case, this works perfectly. This is doing exactly what we want. Now, is there a scenario where I can move this this link out of the way of the bearing? Like even just like right touching it would be fine. It's going to slow down the motion a little bit. I think that's okay. So let's aim for... Let's go here. And I'm just going to move this the tiniest little bit. Just going to move it here. That still works. It's moved back towards the bearing a little bit, which is weird. So let's grab it and move it just a tiny bit more out this way. Okay. That totally breaks now. That totally breaks now. How does it make that big of a difference? Because that slows down. It's because of that. God damn. Totally breaks it. Totally breaks the illusion. Okay, what if I move? I haven't moved this guy in a long time, so let's move him. Just over slightly. Let's also move him over slightly. Oh my god. Yeah, that looks good. Then it breaks because it's going too slow now. How do I increase the speed of that? It's because that's pulling on that, and then it kind of stops at that point. Okay. That's the problem, is it stops at that very specific point. So how am I solving that in this one? Doesn't stop until that point, and then it moves way forward that whole stroke. So it pulls back this whole time, moves way forward before flicking out like that. Moves way forward before flicking out. So comparatively, this works. Let's bring this guy way forward so that overlap happens way later. Why is it just not doing the same thing at all? That looks so similar. Do I gotta make this shorter? God, this is driving me crazy, this one. I'm going to move this over even further. Okay, not helpful that is now way out. I think what's happening is the difference between the length of this and the length of this is what really makes this work. So theoretically, if I were to push this one way in, like let's just go right in, which is not where it should be, but still not working that good. Okay. Okay, that made a huge difference. So we got to split the diff between that. Let's just inch this up. Is this it? Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, I hate the location of that. now we're playing with just the tiniest little adjustments. So I know I could probably make this work by moving the joint of this way out here, which is a bummer because I don't like the way that looks at all, but that might save this. That might save this. Yeah, I'm trying to go into the sketch, yo. Okay. So just to give an example, I'm just literally going to do a circle out here. And we're going to go like this. And I'm going to extrude that out. Now that should rotate with all of this. Yep. Now I can remove this. And let's go like there. I'm trying to line these up. That's fine. And then let's combine these two at this point. Yeah, see, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's see how close I can get that. Ideally, if it's there, that would be fine, I guess. I sort of did a version of this already that was like that. Oh my god, that works so much better. But now that pulls at this so hard and it fails. It fails as soon as fails as soon as those three line up. So in order to make it not fail, welcome back, banana bread. Still working on this. I thought this was going to be so much easier. I honestly, I got such a false sense of confidence after doing the first part of this. Now I'm like, what are we, like at least a week in of doing the same, probably more, doing this exact same mechanism. It's so close. Why is this failing? It stops pulling up on that. Oh god, it did not like that. Okay, will it help to move this guy more underneath? I think that might help, actually. That's where it looks pretty different than the motion gen model. Okay, no. Like, why did it end up there? That's crazy. Okay, that works. Breaks so hard. Breaks so hard. What? I think I would just do both. Um, I don't know. Like the whole point of streaming for me is to have access to the footage. I don't know how it works on Twitch. Like if I'll be able to download the stuff after. So I think I would do both. I only would want to do Twitch just to potentially get more live interaction. But I honestly just kind of like doing it with a couple of you guys on here. I don't really need a lot of interaction while I'm working on this. But it would be kind of fun to try out. Now, is it important that those distances are like the same? Makes such a big difference having this pivot point out a little bit further. I might just go with this. This is so darn close. And at least we can actually get something printed. And it's working so good. Okay. Okay, we're going to go with this. We're going to go with these linkages. Oh. Now, let's try and model this in correctly. So, let's go with our sketchy boy. Capture. Continue. And obviously we're going to project this. Okay, I'm going to grab a line here. We're going to come straight out. And then again, we're going to come straight out. And then I'm going to do a circle. Oh. That's that small. Hey, I thought that was a much larger circle. Okay, let's do it this way then. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is pretty excruciatingly complicated. 2 super small points here. That's the one we want. And then from this point, we want to go with a 4.8. And we want to go with an 8 mil. And then I can go with, that's probably a 12. Oh no, that's a 22. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we'll connect these guys tangentially. Oops. Yeah, I'll print it. And hopefully we'll have something assembled. Right away. And then we can actually verify if this even works, like, at all. There is a very solid chance that this won't work at all, and I will just have to scrap this whole linkage idea. But if this works, it'll be the coolest linkage I ever did see, and I think would make this whole thing, all of these days, very much worth it. But we won't know until that's annoying. Why is that sketch referencing that one so much? I just need to print something and get something else built on this, because it's been so long now of just fooling around. What on earth is going on here? I hate all this. That's good. Didn't I tangent that one? Why is that looking weird? Did I not tangent that? Oh my god. I tangented it to the wrong. I didn't even think I referenced that one. That's so annoying. I'm getting so bogged down. There's so many things on this. Okay, so that piece is Dunzo. Dunzo, Washington. Okay, so we can get rid of that. So next, I need to get this guy going. Now, obviously, that is slightly intersecting. So I'm going to have to change that. Oh, I really appreciate the encouragement. I really hope it works. I'm feeling positive. Like, I think we put enough actual time into this that the understanding is there, but obviously the difference between something working. Oh, nice. Okay. So wait, I can go 4.8. Oh, yeah. The difference between something working in real life versus in a model is obviously massive. Okay, this is great. So I can do exactly that location. And then I'll do an 8 mil. And then we'll do some tangies. Some sweet little tans. Okay, and then we can eggs, trude, eggs, trude. Let's go to this point. Join extrude, cut, okay. So what am I looking at here? What is in there? Oh, that's probably one of these little bodies. That's a link 6 body, I think. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that looks good. I don't know what this is. That can go. I don't know what this is. That can go. That's all we need from this. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to cut some parts away. Yeah, friction is going to be the real boss here. Okay, so as this goes up, so in that case, this bar obviously goes right through there, so we're going to have to cut a spot away for that. But then as this comes down, that should stay out of the way for the most part. Yeah. Yeah, so if I do this centered, and I sketch on here, and I project that circle, and then I can get rid of all this noise. Get rid of all this noise. Get rid of this noise. Where are you at, Bolt? What? Didn't I just project you? Okay. Oh my god, why is it letting me do it? This is so annoying. Okay, we're just gonna do this old school style because it's just gotta be approximate. Ugh. Oh, so dumb. So dumb. Okay, there we go. What filament do you think you'll print all of this in? I would assume at least PLA tough, so it can be. Yeah, it's probably going to be mostly PLA. I don't think I need to do anything fancy with this. I don't think I'll have to do anything fancy with this. And like printability obviously is a huge factor. Oh. Do a little tangentleman right there. Do a little tangentleman right there. Realistically, this doesn't need to be a 1/4 inch hole. This can be a 4.8 mil hole. And then this can be a 8 mil little piece. Okay, let's do that actually instead. So we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. And we can go like this to this. And then like this. to this. And then we can tangential guy, tangential guy. Kind of a hilarious looking shape. How's the printing of the big horn going? It failed on the Prusa. I have it running on the bamboo right now. Looks good. It failed at this point on the Prusa, which, by the way, took twice as long to get to this point. This is looking good so far. And this is going to be done in 9 hours. The one on the Prusa was a 24-hour print. It's crazy. I don't know why. Okay. This is a hilarious looking shape, but so we will take this and this and get all this out of here. Nice. And then I'm going to add that. That's it. Make it a smaller little hole there. Finish. Okay, so now if we get our bolt back on and we get this guy back on, nope, this guy back on, we can see how these can now actually interact properly. Oh, it'll never go past that point. So, yes. Yes. Oops. Breaks down there, but it's fine. It never needs to go that far. Oh, look at that. See how good this is? So from this point, just a tiny bit of motion on the green launches that red forward. That's going to push the mallet back under. I know. I know, it's cute. It's cute. Oh, this is great. This is going to work. Boom. Look at all that motion. Pushes the mallet back under. Yes. Okay, we're good. So now I need this beam done. So what is that? That is going to be our link 6. This is going to be pretty easy link. Because obviously we have this. So I'm just going to do this on the same sketch. I'm going to make this 8 mils. Boom. That one's already 8 mils. And then I put a 4.8. Boom. And then I just got to make sure, like, you know what? I'm going to actually go ahead and get this into position at our max position. Oh. This looks like the closest interaction, because this obviously can't pass through the green. It's going to have to come around the green. But that looks like the right spot there. So that's good. We are going to sketch on this surface. We're going to project this shape. And obviously project that little guy. Mrs. Valid works. I think she'd like that. You hear that, Miss Valid? Are you still there? Mrs. Valid. She's not there anymore. She's not there anymore. Okay, so now we go like this. And we go like this. Let's do something kind of like that, maybe. What? And of course, the classic tangential. That's not what I wanted. Like that. I guess we can do it like that. It doesn't have to be an aggressive curve. The less aggressive, the better, I feel like. Okay. Tangential guy. Oh, it's so frustrating when these don't let me. Mr. Valid. I'm kind of into that. Okay. Does that work for everybody? Mr. Okay, so that now swings out like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm into this. And as that pulls forward, all of this starts happening. So now, yeah, I gotta be sure these are gonna be strong enough. Because this one's doing a lot of work, actually. The point of the strike. It's pushing hard. It might be worth... be worth adding extra material back here, to be honest. So like more of like a banana shape. A banana. Alternatively, I can go straight through and then just cut out that part, which might look better. Because what does this got to do? Where's the forces here? This is pulling down, which is... Okay, I'm going to save it for a bit. I want to look at this. Validlings. I don't know. I don't... I like you guys individually as individuals. I always felt weird about when people would name their fans a specific name. Unless people like that, I don't know. You guys are OGs. You guys are OGs regardless. And that is cool. Yeah, I feel like I need to go with maybe the straight style design. No comment. Now this linkage between here and here, I feel like could be straight, but that could happen back here, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we'll put that to the side for now. Um that'll be a fun bridge to cross if it gets to that point, but I like this currently. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it's very manageable right now, which I like. Okay. So this works. I got to figure out where all these links go, because the whole point is they all drive this guy, which eventually will be. Oh, I didn't even think about that. What is this guy even doing? Why is that bar even sticking out that far? Because realistically, it could just push right on the bar of the beater. What time is it? Ooh. I might have to go, actually. Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. I think I might have to start dinner. Um, I'm definitely going to keep working on this and start printing it. Hopefully I can start, like, tonight. And then... Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna call it quits here. We're going to... The fact it cuts so close looks cool, but cutting through might look good too. Yeah, that's... I'm more worried about the strength of it. Like at this point, I feel like this is going to want a banana, but I can add geometry and stuff, or like just add thickness to it to make it way stronger. But you know, I think the key is going to be, now we're at this point where we can realistically, like, I just got to get the frame printed and start printing these basic linkages, and then obviously refine, because I think adding material and stuff where it's needed is going to be easy, but doing the least amount of material would be the best. I think I want this to actually come up and hit the actual bar of the hammer, now that I'm looking at it, because then it'll... Or, no, I can have it interact with something coming off the side of the blue guy. Maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. This is kind of where I probably should just print it and then see where things are hitting. Because the nice thing is, I feel like the motion here is good enough that I can actually realistically print the frame. I've been holding off on printing this whole frame because it's such a significant print, and this mounting point matters so much. But now that we kind of have that mounting point figured out, which actually isn't even there anymore, it's it's right there. So now that we have this mounting point figured out, I can print the frame, and then I can just iterate on each individual link where I'm seeing weaknesses and stuff. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Look at that. Look at that motion. From this point to this point, boom. So much motion. And then from this point, it just falls back until we get down to here. And this is about where the pedal actually stops. So it does exactly what I was trying to do for a week. Longer than a week, I think, right? It has to have been longer than a week. I've done like 5 streams on this, but I did add some extra streams in between and stuff like that. But still, this works exactly as I needed it to. Now, is it going to actually work? Is it going to actually have the strength to pull this in? That's what we need to test. And I need to figure out where these linkages go, because right now it's all on this side, but I have to actuate this guy. So I can have a piece coming off the blue guy that the red guy interacts with, but I feel like having all the pieces on one side is like going to make it really weak. So I'm going to need to think about that. This link here to, is it here? Yeah, this link pulls like most of the time when it's coming down, but obviously when we're going up, there's going to be a lot of force on that specific one. So that one's got to be strong, and I'm thinking if I mimic this hole on this guy, then I can have a bar that goes straight through, like this one's going straight through, and then I can do a really fat bar between this guy and this guy. But I have to make sure, I don't know, if I did a straight bar between these, or like a curved bar or whatever, is that red guy going to pass through? I guess it wouldn't at that point. It would never pass through at that point. So we could do that. Yeah, it's definitely going to have to be curved. And like there's all this other shit in the way. Like this is going to be in the way. And the more curve I add to it, the weaker it's going to be. And this one matters. I think this one's where like most of the force is going to be. Because you can see when I'm driving this part is going to be pushing up. And so that's where all the force is going to be, right in between these two. So this is going to have to be a significant linkage, and I got to make it fit in here somehow. I'm not too worried about it. I think it's really doable. And yeah, like I can have it so like basically a straight bar, but then just cut out right there for when that hits right there. Oh, it can't be straight. It's got to be curved. It's got to be curved a bit this way. But then it's going to have this weird cutout. So this is going to be a weird one. I'm going to need to really plan how that works. But I guess let's just do it right now. Why not? What is that? Is that link 5? Is that what it is? Yeah. So, like this. We can just move this guy to like right there. I'm literally just gonna... I can actually, now that I've got this sort of figured out, I can actually start to lock stuff together like that. Honestly, PLA at like maximum infill is so strong. PLA is a very, very strong material. And I've made some pretty significantly structural things just relying on some strong ass PLA. Okay, so obviously there it's a problem. So what do? Let's just cut it. Oh, actually. Okay, let's finish the sketch and then let's actually extrude this for a second. Sure, we can do a new body. I don't know. I don't care. Now, if it is on the outside, it doesn't matter. If it's on the outside, it doesn't matter, but I feel like it's got to be inside. So that's like the definite maximum point. To add strength, I could do a piece that comes over and like this and make like basically a backwards H. Cool. Yeah, me too. I'm gonna head out here. Banana Bread and Ruby, so good to have you both on stream. Makes these streams so much better. I'm gonna. Okay, I actually mean it this time. Wednesday, we're gonna have things printed. I'm gonna have more stuff added to this, and hopefully we have something that works. But I can't guarantee that. But I will have stuff printed, and I will have more progress on the actual physical pedal. So we're not going to be living in CAD world forever. Okay, yeah, I'm out too. Really appreciate it. We will see you on Wednesday, if you can. But I will be there. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.